Hello, good evening, and welcome to the State Hockey Centre. My name, as always, is Dave Webb. I'm joined in commentary tonight by Tim White. Tim, absolutely wonderful to have you here. We are here, first grand final of the year, where the best and the brightest players in the Hockey SA universe have come together for the first grand final of the Statewide Super League grand final, which is the women's game, which will be the Eastern States taking on the Southern Storm. Right off the bat, Tim, I'm going to ask you to call it.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Just drop you straight in there.
Well, the Eastern Saints will be coming in as favourite. They've been the dominant team throughout the competition. They won this battle between these two teams 6-0 the first time they've met, but there's been a few things that have happened since then, so I don't expect the scoreline to be that tonight, but they have to be favourite.
But that's what's interesting is obviously the first round of the Super League we came out and we saw the Saints just absolutely march over the top of the Storm. Obviously the Storm have turned things around to be here in this grand final tonight. I asked Kiwi's down there, Kiwi's coaching the Saints, Melody Cooper is coaching the Saints. I asked her, I said, what is the difference between that team you played in round one and the team we've got tonight? And I said, is it that one player? Is it that injection of Gabby Nance? I mean, she was very diplomatic and said, no, it's all about the team getting together, but it's hard not to sort of pin that on Gabby's shoulders.
I think we're all really excited that Gabby's playing tonight, and I think it's going to make a lot of difference. Whether it makes 6 goals difference, I don't know, but she is an Olympian, Commonwealth Games silver medalist in 2018, and played over in Holland, has come back and is trying to push back into the Australian squad now, so she'll be fired up to play well tonight.
And you did say Holland is the most competitive league in the world. If you're going to go and play hockey and you're going to earn your money playing hockey, Holland is the place to do it. Really interesting tonight. We talk about Olympians. We've got obviously Gabby Nance, who we talked about. On the opposite side, in the Saints jersey, we've got Holly Evans. They've both been there and tasted it. You reckon it's not too long before Mickey Spano puts on that gold and green for gold medals, isn't it?
Well, I mean, Mickey Spano has put on the green and gold. She's debuted for Australia this year with 5 matches. She's yet to play a prominent tournament, although the tournament that she played in the Pro League, where the Hockeyroos finished second, she was actually just awarded a Pro League medal in Perth last week, being part of that group. So her and Gabby trained with the Hockeyroos last week. So exciting to see Mickey out there as well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. And obviously, we you can't as well. We've got to talk about Hallie Shand as well. She's an up-and-comer. She'll be around there. So Holly won't like me for saying it, but she won't hate me for saying it. She's seen the autumn of her career. Gabby Nance is right in the middle of it. Mickey and Hattie are on the way up. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. When you come back to us, we will be nearly ready for the first grand final of the 2019 season, the Statewide Super League Women's Grand Final, Eastern States taking on the Southern Storm. random drunk text message. Try explaining that to your fiance.
Exactly.
Wig. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There we have it, the aerial pictures of the State Hockey Centre. Just getting its water in before we got ready tonight. The sunset in the background. As per usual, the spring is just about sort of poking its nose through the clouds at the moment, isn't it, Tim? But as soon as the sun goes down, it's chilly again. It
is chilly, but this time last week when you were tucked away at home, I think, Dave, it was a wintry evening. So
yep.
I think tonight we've got good conditions for the final.
Great conditions for the final. You have new camera angles thanks to Spacequake Sports. We have a behind the goal. Should be absolutely fabulous for the short corners and the penalty corners. Murray up there. They're about to come in for their technicals. There we see Yelena McLaughlin, who is really starting to put herself down as a real steadying hand in the midfield, whichever team she's playing for.
She will be omnipresent tonight. She's a major player in the Premier League comp and in this Super League competition, and I would expect her to have a big part to play this evening.
So an interesting one, and I was thinking during the week when I was getting ready to come here tonight, is this a foreshadowing with the Pirates not being here? Are we going to see different coloured ribbons on the Premiership Cup this year?
I'd be loath to predict that, Dave, given the Port Adelaide history in the women's comp in recent years, and they're sitting top at the moment, so they've put themselves in the Premier League. Yep. They've put themselves in a good position to defend the title again. So let's just let that one play out, I think.
You would be a very, very brave man to make that call, to bet against the Port Adelaide Magpies. There's some of the sassy athletes who were running around beforehand. I did promise them that we would get their face on camera. And don't forget as well, we are live and we are interactive. Loving the comments, and you're actually doing everyone a favour. So if you're liking this and if you share this, if you comment on this, then it gets out to more people. More people see live hockey. So if you want to comment on it, go your hardest, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to speak to you. We will give shout outs if we get a chance, but we are expecting a tight game tonight, so we may not be able to go through all of that stuff.
Yeah, like we said in the pre-game, 6-0 the last time these two teams met, but there's been some personnel changes, and namely the big in for the Storm is Gabby Nance. So, I think Emma DeBro will also play a key part tonight for the Storm, along with Brooklyn Buheka. Big job for Emily Cochrane in goal. She's a young keeper, just come back from the under-16 nationals, or just returned. So, they'll have a big task against the Saints tonight. But I'm expecting a competitive game, absolutely. Yeah,
and obviously the Holland Smith sisters will be running around out there as well. We've got all of our names and numbers right. You've got a fan already.
Yes. The Holland Smiths will have an influence as well. They get a lot of the ball. They like to carry the ball. They break lines and set up attacking plays. And on the other side, lots of keys. We've talked about Mickey Spano. We've talked about Yelena McLaughlin, Holly Evans. Lots and lots of depth in that team.
I mean, it really does read like a who's who of hockey in South Australia at the moment, doesn't it? You just read both of those, and we go amiss not to mention Sherilyn Cass, who an absolute trooper, runs hard, and she got a reward. Round one, we saw her nearly get a hat trick, but saw her get a goal. But she does a lot of running and a lot of work up top, so it would be really interesting to see just where we go from here. And is it going to be one of those games where neither team wants to concede first? Are we going to see one of those type of grand finals?
Well, you often do, but I hope not. I mean, as we'd all hope. I wouldn't expect it would play out like that. I think there's just such quality in both teams that, quality also equals quality in defence, but I think we're going to see some exciting hockey. I'd be really surprised if there's not goals. However, you're right, they won't want to concede early, so it might start a bit cagey, but I think it'll open up.
Grand finals generally do, though, don't they? Generally, they start out quite cagey, but we'll wait and see. There we see Gabby Nance just doing the pre-game team talk, and there's a lot of expectation on somebody who comes with the reputation of Gabby, of what she's going to bring to not only this game, but just hockey in South Australia in general.
there is. She slipped back into the Seacliff team and had a good influence there. She was really good for the Storm a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, there will be she will play a major part in tonight's game, but the Eastern Saints will also be pretty wary of her, and I'm sure that they'll be looking to mark her out of the game as best they can.
Well, we'll wait and see what's going on. We are lined up. We are getting ready to go. Just having a look, and as you see, Yelena McLaughlin has just stepped straight into that sweeper roll. I think she'll start to get themselves ready. Charlie Roberts saying the Saints will be marching home tonight.
Good. Yeah, it's not surprising to see Charlie influencing early on the socials.
And we are off and running. The Saints will be attacking the left of your screen and the Storm attacking the right of your screen. The Storm in the yellow shirts with the black skirts, and the Saints will be wearing the blue shirts and black skirts. And we are off and running.
Already an aggressive start by the Saints with the press pushing out and almost a turnover to Sherilyn Cass.
Well, that's what Sherilyn will do. She'll chase hard all night. Nance looks over to this near side. Katie Holland-Smith will just play through the line. Nice little give and go. And look into midfield again. Nance dealt with by Grist. Illegally though. And the overhead in towards the circle. Just didn't expect it to come all the way through. That's Kira McMahon, I think, who was caught by surprise by that ball, managed to find its way through.
Yeah, I mean, an interesting ball by Gabby Nance. Doesn't often throw aerials. Yelena McLaughlin wasn't able to handle it and was almost the opening opportunity as Hattie Shan gets involved for the first time.
She just kind of blindly throws it away, and then it will go out on the far side.
Yep, so Hattie Shan's just going to work in front of the back three. So Yelena McLaughlin setting up as centre back, and Hattie Shan's going to sweep from the front. First
week we saw them interchange quite a lot, Yo-Yo and Hattie just swapping around and choosing how we go. And it's a sign of how well Hattie Shand is doing, is that she's given the responsibility of that sweeper role.
Yeah, and I think you'll probably see that a bit tonight. I mean, teams often try and manipulate the sweeper and get her marked, which means that McLaughlin might be free sometimes anyway, so that'll happen naturally.
So ball to the Storm, and then they decide to come all the way back. Blue Checker is sat at the back at the moment. Evans to McLaughlin, can't quite get it clear. And another free hit, and the Storm will go early. Holland-Smith looks for anything on the inside. Not allowed to come in and cleared the very, very early days, but the Storm look to be doing the lion's share of the attacking so far.
Yeah, the Storm are up for the battle. They've started well. Lucy Holland-Smith with a really good early self-play and attack into the circle, but Yelena McLaughlin was able to get a stick on it.
So they will go all the way over to that far side. And then happy to come back to McLaughlin. Good high press from the Storm. Forces a mistake again.
Yep, so it's been played in the Southern Storm's front half at the moment. They'd be happy with the way in which they've started. A pretty aggressive press. The Saints tried to play it out but then coughed it up. So possession to the Southern Storm.
They'll go down the line again, look for another circle entry, which they haven't really managed to get so far. The Saints have done very, very well at stopping them coming in so far. But they've certainly had the most amount of pressure.
Yeah, good intercept there by Hattie Shan, and that's the role of the sweeper, to cut off all those dangerous balls into the circle.
Now they do get it into the circle, but there's no one on the end of it, and it'll go out for a 16-yard hit, just lashed into the circle.
That was lashed, and for all the people watching at home, the ball had to travel 5 metres before it was hit in that part of the field, so that's why it was a free out.
Again, they will rebuild from McLaughlin. Gets her head up early. Loose pass again, and just looking a little bit nervous to begin with, the Saints. And the Storm again will look to just mount an attack towards that Saints goal. Nance tries to work around the outside, sends it across the front, hits a Storm stick and will come away. Just held short again, Nance. Now they do get a circle entry. McLaughlin will come across make the interception. Again, they will manage to get out.
Yeah, some good sustained pressure from the Storm early, and the Saints, to their credit, are defending well. They haven't conceded a shot or a corner, given the number of or the amount of time it's been in their defensive third at the moment.
Well, anytime you see Mickey Spano sat down in that far bottom right-hand corner, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah, she'd prefer to be at the other end, that's for sure.
So the Storm look to build again. Again, we'll look forward. Little slip pass inside. The Saints will close the door again. Trying to find an outlet to Cass. It gets there eventually. Tries to poke it past Nance. Does manage to keep control. Talbot to McLaughlin. Back into midfield. Oh, and again a little bit of a short pass. Now they're out. Draper. Can she find a ball into the middle? McLaughlin does enough. Has to come away. Just too many loose passes at the back. I don't think Melody Cooper will be overly happy with just how clean they are in the back.
Yeah, really good piece of defending though by Yelena McLaughlin. She had a couple of players to deal with and found a good intercepting line, and thwarted a great opportunity. Good intercept by Claudia Draper, just didn't quite nail the pass.
Just doing enough to limit the damage so far with the loose passes, and McLaughlin really is having to tidy up a lot back there. Again, no, little bit of a nervy pass. Into the circle they will go. Can they find a pass in? Yes, they do! And just like that, Mickey Spano will knock the first one in, and against from Crane, you would have to say. Yep. The Saints will take the lead, but that is a great finish by Spano.
Yeah, very much against the run of play. The first circle entry, I believe, for the Eastern Saints. A loose pass out of defence, a good press win, a ball into Spano. She did really well, stayed on the ball, a little reverse feed through the legs of Cochrane, so 1-0.
Chloe Carter with the assist.
Yes.
Just breaking it down. And we talked about the Eastern Saints and just how nervy they seem to come out the back, and then it was almost on cue. The Storm go and cough it up and concede a goal. That's the difference. The Storm haven't been able to, and as we say it now, they will have a chance. Holland Smith just kind of chips it, goes harmlessly wide.
Another great opportunity, a ball won in the press for the Storm, but she just hooked that a little bit and didn't quite get the purchase on it that she wanted to.
Lovely little turn, just standing up Sophie Fry to open up the shot, but just couldn't get the finish on target. And again, the pass out of defence has not gone where it wanted to go. Storm will get another free hit.
Yeah, the Storm press is doing really well. It's created a lot of turnovers in their front third, but what they're not doing is then getting goal scoring opportunities from. Well, they've got a couple of opportunities, but they haven't put them away.
Again, just fighting to get out of their own half, and with the Saints' best opportunity, which they've capitalised on, came from a defensive lapse from the Storm.
Well, it did, because it came from the Storm having the ball and then passing it straight into the Eastern Saints press, and they went to work from there. So, you would have thought that potentially the goal would have settled the Saints down, but at the moment the Storm are still having the better of it, but they're down 1-0.
So the Saints again. To Spano. Smart turn from Spano. Takes on Nance. Nance will knock the ball away.
Those two will have some good battles tonight, I would imagine.
Well, we've already seen how dangerous Spano can be.
And she was dangerous there. She took an early free hit, travelled the required 5 metres, knocked the ball into the circle, and it came off the body, I think, of a Saints Storm defender. So the first penalty corner of the night.
So we will see the first penalty corner of the night. Just trying to look who's going over there to inject. That's Eliza Gray.
It is Eliza Gray, and you've got two really good options, the Shand slap or hit and the McLaughlin flick. So good options at the top of the circle for the Saints.
Injection comes, goes to Grist, to McLaughlin, who just shifts it to try and fire away. Gabby Nance got out there.
She did.
Concedes another one.
A good brave running line by Nance, and a good corner by the Saints, because normally McLaughlin would flick most of the balls that come to her, whereas this time she tried to carry the ball to change the line and hit. So yeah, Kiwi and Dan Mitchell had that up their sleeve.
Well, we've still got to wait and see whether we see the quadruple battery again, which we've seen before. Again, they will go there. Now they will slip it to this near side to Spano. Just didn't get enough on it, but it's still there. Just couldn't get a stick on it. Eliza Gray, nice shift. Grist was there, just tried to turn it around the corner, and that's how close that one was.
A good opportunity. Another variation. So they've decided to try and shift both of them. So instead of McLaughlin shooting direct, she slipped it to Spano. She slipped it across the face. It got onto the left foot of Cochrane. Another chance, but it just went wide.
So the Storm looking to try and weather this storm. Can't quite get there. And the Saints now are just starting to grow into this game. That one is picked off. Fight towards goal, a deflection. Any deflection would have done it. Chloe Carter got something on it, but too much of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the Saints growing in confidence, can't you? And a great piece of work by Cass. Found Carter, but she just got her angles wrong. She was a bit too close to the keeper, and the touch was too heavy.
So now it's the Storm who are desperately trying to get out of their own half. Evans and Nance will renew acquaintances, but again a loose pass. Grist picks it up, finds Evans. Evans will just try and slide it through. That's a great stop. Free hit goes the way of the Storm. Groans from the crowd, thinking it should have been a light blue one.
I mean, a really important intercept or defensive piece of skill there by Brooklyn Buhecker, as it looked like there was going to be another opportunity for the Saints.
Holland Smith went a long, long way and then just put the pass too far in front. Evans has it cut out. Now Nance can get control of it. We'll take on Evans. So there's an Evans lookalike running around out there.
Who's the? Where is she?
Oh, there she is, number 10.
That's Sophie Fry.
Sophie Fry. My eyes are getting old. So Fry goes back to McLaughlin. They are in the driver's seat at the moment, so they can take it a little bit easier. Another loose pass into midfield, putting them under pressure. Both players looking at the umpire almost straight away. Gave herself up for that.
Yeah, it's an important few minutes. A good little interplay here and a good opportunity for the Storm.
Good circle entry. Can she find a yellow shirt in there? Keeper does very, very well, and they'll just get rid of it. Belle Rundle getting in the way.
Yep, I think that's the first save that Rundle's had to make, and they've got another chance here with Nance.
Again, they're just going to clear it. Oh, just comes off a Storm stick. Probably if she had that again, she would have just let that go and rebuilt from there, but action is non-stop at the moment.
Yep. We spoke before the game and discussed whether it was going to be a cagey opening. I wouldn't put it in the cagey category.
Certainly not, and I think the way that the Storm came out and started kind of set the tone and the tempo for the day. Evans, a lovely ball out to Grist. Grist does manage to get it under control, has two options in front of her. Just can't quite get it all the way through to Spano. Spano chasing hard. Nance sends it back to Kitto. Kitto will send it down the line. Lovely ball from Kitto. And they're just a little bit too wide, which will allow the Saints to relieve the pressure.
Again, probably highlights the why we have developed this Super League comp. You saw some beautiful skills there. A great backhand by Evans, a beautiful receive by Grist, but then great defensive play by Kitto, bringing it out.
McLaughlin fires it through to Shand, and then Shand will fire it early to the stick of Spano. She just couldn't quite get it under control.
Yeah, again, beautiful skills on show, as you'd expect.
From a coaching point of view, as you're getting ready for Hockey 1, to see that connection between McLaughlin and Spano and Shand, it must make your mouth water.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players out here in the Adelaide Fire squad for the inaugural Hockey One, which is going to be exciting.
Evans sends it back, fired across the front, and I think Spano's got a stick on it, and we'll get our second of the game.
Spano did get a stick on that. It was a great little touch. Beautiful. Well, should we say it was a pass from Cass, or was it a shot?
I will give her the benefit and say it was a pass, but just picked out the carbon fibre of Spano.
Actually, the real important pass in that move was Holly Evans when she was on the baseline, pulling it away from numbers. Generally speaking, all the numbers gravitate to around the spot, and Evans pulled it back from the spot, found her good mate in Cass, who found Spano's stick, and 2-0.
So the Storm won't want this to get away from them. Evans in midfield, has a little bit more space now. Just behind, does well. Oh, I thought she kept it in. I thought she'd done well to keep it in, Laura Mutton, but umpire had a better view of it than us. Nance decides to take on Evans, goes around the outside, then looks for a pass along the front, can't quite get there. Just slowed it down but didn't stop it. Nice 3D skills. Shand takes it away.
Some good physical contest there by a number of players.
And no argument from Nance. She clearly accepted the umpire's whistle.
She did.
Dutchy Holland saying Spano is on fire.
Spano has started very well. Should be very happy with her 2 goals in the first quarter.
Shand, lovely disguised pass to Spano, and just like that the first quarter is over. Didn't even see it coming as we see a replay of that one. The interception from Evans, and then managed to find herself in Cass, just backing off and finding a little bit of space. And that's a great deflection from Spano.
It is a great deflection, and it's something that she's been working on a lot, to be honest, so she'll be really pleased with that.
We will step out very, very quickly. We'll be back with you for quarter number 2. So good start to the first one. I was surprised. I wondered what the siren was for. I thought that can't be going that quickly. We've only been playing 30 seconds. Great start, and probably the start we would want it, because this has to open up now.
Well, it has to. The Storm came out as the aggressors, had more of the play, more of the opportunities, but the Saints have been more efficient. So the main stat that matters in hockey is the number of goals scored, and the Saints have put two away, both off the stick of Mickey Spano. Yeah,
and the Storm will just...
Oh, have a look at this.
We're away. Well, the umpires are certainly... Everyone was still caught up, and then Cass out on that far side. It gets another circle entry and a short corner. Caught everybody on the hop. They were still clearing water bottles. Umpires very, very...
Well, it is the rule in hockey now. In fact, I saw it for the first time in the 2014 World Cup, in the Women's World Cup, where exactly the same thing happened even at that level. But the umpires are now conferring, so whether there's going to be a restart...
Well, cameraman was still on the pitch when it started. So...
No, corner given.
Still a short corner. This time Gabby Nance is having a conversation. But that caught everybody on the hop. But I like it.
Well, the rules are the rules. You've only got 2 minutes, and in that 2 minutes you have to come off. You've got to get your points, and then you've got to get back on and be set. And that's the harsh reality.
Well, it would have been really interesting if that had led to a goal.
Well, it may.
It was very, very close, and you're right, it still could. So, third penalty corner of the night for the Eastern Saints. See how they go. There's the same setup for both of them, Shand and McLaughlin at the top. Gray injecting. Trapped. Sent to Shand, just couldn't get it on target. It'll be a 16-yard hit. So they have dodged a bullet somewhat.
They have. Certainly an action-packed start. Looked to me as though Shand was looking to slide that to Cheryl and Cass. And they just got their wires crossed about where it was meant to be. But good opportunity and let's say a frantic opening to the quarter.
Everyone can just take a breath now. So the Storm again, the press coming from the Saints. Again, just forcing the mistake from the Storm in a very, very good position.
Well, you can see there that the Saints are hungry to keep the Storm pegged back. As soon as the front line came up, the next line came up, and there were little options for the Storm to bring it out of defence.
Happy to go back to McLaughlin. Trying to squeeze something through, didn't get anything, but a loud clash of the sticks means that the Saints can go again.
Read by Nance, but mishandled. Here's a chance for Gray.
Oh, it's gone right across the front, and there is a goal.
Chloe Carter on the end of that one.
Very, very early in the second quarter. And they're just those, it's a chaos ball, isn't it, that just goes in front of the goal, and Carter was there to tidy it up.
Yeah, and actually it's a really good term. We use that term quite a lot, that the chaos ball often works. You saw Carter quite cleverly just drifting off the back of her defender and getting space. Well received there by McLaughlin, although into her body.
And it's gone away, and Holland Smith can go forward and just couldn't find the pass. And again, it's just going to arrest the momentum that the Storm had. Good baseline work. They're looking for something, looking for a free. Can't get anything. And then it came off the foot of a Storm player.
Well, action at either end. The Saints have been incredibly efficient. I think on circle entries it would be level, but right now they're 3-0 leaders, and this is a big job ahead for the Southern Storm.
It is a massive job, but you know they can turn it around. Just it's confidence, isn't it? As we get into this second quarter, just these are good athletes, I'm sure it doesn't, but you just wonder whether they start to feel, what do we have to do?
I think the really important thing at this stage of the game for the Storm is not to go away really from what they started out intending to do, because they've played well. There has been, they need to tighten up defensively, but there hasn't been an abundance of shots. So, as I said, Saints have been efficient, but Storm have created, and one goal can change things.
So the Saints will go again. They'll look to just try and push this lead out even further. They are leading this one 3-0. But the one thing we do know about this Saints side is they're not going to take the foot off the loud pedal, are they, at any point?
No, there's I mean, this sort of concept, I think, is just a recipe for really exciting attacking hockey. And yeah, the Saints will be looking for more. There's no doubt about that.
The free hit will go the way of the Storm. Again, the press is there. Happens to come across to the back.
That's Ferguson out there at right back.
Just tried to squeeze it through, didn't quite find a way through, Jade Ferguson. But did manage to get a deflection. Nice overhead. Where's the bounce going to go? Well received. Kept in well. Happy to go back to McLaughlin again. Say that a couple of times. Good overhead again. Just couldn't bring it under control. Nance takes on Grist, comes off Grist and will go out. Nance will play on herself and keeps going. Then pulls it back, and again the Saints just managed to do enough to slow down the attack.
Yeah, some good involvements there from Nance. A dangerous ball to DeBro, but Spano actually back doing the defensive job there.
Almost a nice take, but it just bounces away, and Nance can take it off the end of the stick of Carter. Spano tried to win it back for the Saints and didn't quite manage it. Now they are starting to rampage forward again. Lewis just loses out just outside the circle. The Saints have defended that circle incredibly well all day.
Yeah, they have. Haven't conceded a corner yet. Only one shot that made Rundle save, another couple, but they have defended well.
Nance will go back. Find Buchecker and just couldn't find the stick of her teammate out there.
Be interesting to watch the way Nance tries to impact this game. You know, whether she looks to sort of take it upon herself and try and get a bit more aggressive with her ball carrying or not. At the moment, she's been, you know, probably having a good pass versus carry balance. So just kind of watch that one, I think.
And again, Nance will just jump on the loose ball and then pull it back.
Oh, she throws her head back. She
didn't agree with that one.
Well, she agreed with it. What she didn't agree with was the way in which she executed. She would do 10,000 of them in a year, and a lot of them would come off.
Good pressure again from Holland Smith. That high pressure, loose ball again. Now Nance can stride forward, has options. Back stick, decides to go. Good save. Great save from Belle Rundle.
Yeah.
I'm getting a good look at it from here. Was on target, needed saving.
It was a difficult save because it was sort of just on the inside of her left kicker and she had to kick across her body, and Nance is dangerous in that part of the field. If she's able to receive with space in front of her, she'll attack that space.
Well, you do see a lot of goals go between the legs, and Dutchie Holland has already commented. He sat behind us doing some work, and he'd be pleased with that one, wouldn't he?
He would be, and goalkeepers often get a bad rap that when a ball goes between their legs that it's the keeper's fault, but it's often one of the hardest places to save.
Good overhead, will find Carter. Carter has Grist ahead of her if she can find her. She does. Options for Grist. Can she pull it back? Can she find something? Free hit. Decides to go herself. Kind of run herself into a blind alley. Gets the advantage again. Manages to get to the baseline. Nance will cut it out. Fired forward. Good control over on that far side. Looks for an option inside. A little bit of a loose one, but fighting well. And McLaughlin look to take over, but they have the free hit.
Yep, so Nance doing it at both ends defensively. Good tomahawk out. Great receive. I think that was by Claudia Draper, and they get to reset.
So obviously the grand final of the Statewide Super League, Statewide Super, the super team behind women's sport in South Australia, bringing you this one. Sent forward again, and Carter does very well just to roll around the corner. Can she get around the outside? Excellent challenge over there in that far corner. I think that's a Holland Smith, and then a big strong challenge. These white numbers on the yellow jerseys don't work very well for me.
It's not great for the commentators, that's for sure, or the spectators.
Fired into the middle but cut out.
That was a good intercept by Meg Bourne.
Grist looks up for something. Can only see yellow shirts at the moment. We'll have to really pick a pass through. Gives a short one to Carter, then looks for a return. Free hit is given.
Emily Grist starting to get busy. She's a clever player up in the attacking line for the Saints, as we see her a clever pass there.
Overhead made its way through, but just couldn't quite get stick on it. Lucy Talbot. And it'll go to Cass. That one's turned over. Now they are 3-on-3. Can they break out here? Nance gets a head up, looks to carry, looks for options. Doesn't like any of them just yet. Has to stop and prop, keeps the ball. Good 3D. Gets away from one player. Then we'll find an outlet pass onto that far side to Katie Holland-Smith. Holland-Smith looking for the circle entry. Grist there, fires it across the front. Belle Rundle has to deal with it. And a corner.
She did. Gabby Nance just held things up there. It's almost like she had space in front of her and then waited for players to come so she could use her skill to get out of it, which she ended up doing.
Just couldn't see anything she wanted, could she, initially? Again, the Saints just building that light blue wall outside the circle. Another free hit. Nance looks to go. Just outside.
So the Storm are pushing here, and one goal before half-time would be critical.
Fired forward, came off a stick, and it was a yellow stick.
So yes, as you said before, a chaos ball into the circle.
She was looking for a foot, and I'm just trying to see who that is. Lauren Mutton did very well to get that right peg out of the way.
She did.
Oh, lovely little deflected pass from Shand. Down to Lauren Mutton, who just loses out. Emma Dubrow will win the free hit. And the Storm will go again, just trying to slide a pass through, but Mutton, again, starting to get her name called quite a lot. Dubrow, happy to come back to Alistair. And then they will look to build from the back.
So the Saints probably just setting up a little bit deeper with their press now, just happy to concede the back half of the field for the Storm. Although Spano pushing out and splitting the defenders.
Gets a stick on it as well, but only manages to deflect it to Dubrow. Then Buchecker will get her head up and look to slide it down the line. And again, the receive is not there. So the Saints will be able to relieve the pressure again, but it's difficult to see on your screens, but we can see the whole pitch, and there's literally Cass is stood in one circle and the defenders are in the other. This is about as open and stretched as it could possibly be.
And that's what we don't always see this in games of hockey, but we're seeing it tonight, and that's allowing space for the players to play into. It's also meaning the game sort of slingshots from end to end a bit.
But it's amazing to see is that they do stretch the field out, and then the pressure on the ball carrier in defence is still incredibly high. Pass to Shand, out to Evans. Evans will go back to Grist. Then you can just see the pressure coming from the yellow shirts. Little touch away, but now they can break out. Grist does very, very well. Now they can get going forward. Grist has an option to Spano. Spano just lost out, but the Storm, and again, didn't lash away. Dubrow has Evans in front of her, does very well to win possession, plays to herself, fires it forward. It's going to work out, and it is real end-to-end stuff now. McMahon couldn't find anything, just turned over by Talbot, and then it goes into the middle. Just not enough on it.
Well, that was the chance of the night for the Storm. Kira McMahon won the ball back. Claudia Draper on the spot. I think it's Claudia Draper. Got to stick to it, but not enough.
Oh, it just needed to be a bit bigger. One more Weet-Bix in the breakfast bowl this morning. She would have been all right.
And that came after a great opportunity for the Saints, where Emily Grist was instrumental in a breakthrough through the midfield, and the ball was in the other end of the circle quickly.
And we are going again with the Storm now attacking. Tries to slip a ball through to Nance. Nance does very well to pick it up. Gets the circle entry, fires it at goal. Great save by Blundell. The rebound will go in though.
Brilliant goal. I think in the end it might have been Kira McMahon who got the rebound past Belinda Rundle. But it was beautifully set up, and a great tomahawk shot by Nance. And then Kira McMahon on the spot and slipped it past Rundle's left foot.
It wasn't Kira who had the touch the one before. She made up for it.
Kira set up Draper for the last one, and this time she thought, I'll do it myself.
Oh, well, yeah. So, 3-1, and just over a minute left in the first half. And there are moments up here, Tim, where it feels like we're commentating on tennis. We're just going left and then right and then left again. It's been a wonderful end-to-end game.
It is a great game of hockey to watch and to commentate, and that 3-1 scoreline is really interesting. I mean, as a coach, if you're 3-0 down, you just keep saying to your players, come on, one goal changes everything, and we've got that now.
Nance, a little bit of a blind alley. Manages to get out of it and then finds a lovely release ball over to that far side. Just too far in front of everyone, and now the Saints looking to get away. Shand gets it intercepted by Nance. Nance picks a pass forward. Little bit behind Holland Smith, but does well. Has to work very, very hard. Again, the clearance is going to come back. Lovely stick work. And gets the free hit.
Well, I mean, the Storm are pushing for another one in this dying minute. So it's been a great last 10 minutes for the Storm.
Now, can they get it in? The old chaos ball might work on this one. Fired forward. Pennington just manages to get something on it. Little bit of clock management. Evans will send it down the line. It's going to find its way to Spano. Spano beats one. Now they're 2-on-2. Spano will go. Carter tries to pull the defender away. Defender did very well. Didn't get there. Spano with her back to goal. Looks for a circle entry. Gets it. Will go behind, and you'll think that will be it. Nobody will be in any great rush to go and get it. So we are probably going to go into half-time. 3-1. The Saints will lead. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a game of hockey on our hands. If you thought it was over, it's not. Go away, go and get yourself a cup of tea. Stay warm, come back to us. We'll be back for quarter number 3. Welcome back to the State Hockey Centre. The Saints lead this one 3-1 against the Storm. Goals to Mickey Spano, she got 2 of them, and Chloe Carter got the 1, and then Kieran McMahon getting one back in the dying embers of the second quarter. But put yourself in the coaching position of the Storm. What are you talking about now?
I'd be reinforcing a lot of positives to the Storm. If I was the Storm coach, they got an all-important goal back before half-time. 3-0 was a big deficit. 3-1, they're right back in it. But even on the balance of play, they've had enough of the match and enough of the chances. The Eastern Saints have been more efficient, so they need to tidy up defensively and be a bit tighter in the circle. But I wouldn't be changing much right now.
I think if we look at performances in the first half, Mickey Spano certainly in the first quarter and a half was absolutely outstanding. But I think somebody who's probably flown under the radar for both of us has been Belle Blundell. If we actually look back at that first 2 quarters of hockey, there's 2 massive saves from Belle Blundell, then we're 3-3.
Yeah, Rundle has been good in the net for the Saints, and yeah, you wouldn't have often said that at 3-0. You wouldn't be thinking that the keeper was doing the job, but she is important, and I'm sure there'll be more work for her to do in the second half.
There certainly will be, and not seen too much from Emily Grist. We started to say that she was growing into it, and obviously I think as well Gabby Nance is really starting to push her stamp onto this one, so should be an interesting quarter. This third quarter, it's been known as the Premiership quarter. This is the important one. This is the one that is going to make or break this game, really.
It will, and absolutely you mentioned that Gabby Nance has started to come right into the game, and she'll be prominent in this second half.
So wherever you are, get ready. Quarter number 3 is coming up. We can't wait for it, neither can you. We're going to go and hurry them, and hopefully we can get them to start a little bit early like we did with the second quarter. So we are back. Aerial pictures brought to you by Statewide Super, the super fun behind women's sport in South Australia. Aerial pictures of the State Hockey Centre in Jeps Cross. It's a beautiful venue, isn't it?
It is a beautiful venue, and you can see on that aerial picture, beautiful clear night, red skies in the background. So
full moon as well, I think. If we just take a look, it's right over halfway at the moment. It's absolutely glorious where we are. But we are getting ready to go. The Storm certainly ready to go after the quick start to quarter number 2. And they've almost caught them napping again. And the Saints will go with Evans and managed to find a pass all the way through to Carter. That one is pounced upon by Holland Smith. Now they will go forward. Yellow shirt starting to get there. So just kind of dumped into the pocket, really. It's going to come back with a 16-yard hit.
Sister to sister there, Lucy to Kate, but then the ball over the baseline, but a fast opening as you'd expect.
Yeah, as you said, clear night, and the clear night means it gets a bit chilly. Starting to feel that way. McLaughlin finds the ball through, and then a loose one picked up by Nance. Gets her head up, is looking to pick a pass through, manages to find a lovely slide rule pass. McLaughlin again in the right place at the right time. Still bouncing around in there. Blundell tries to get something on it. Nothing. No whistles. And it's just going to go out, and it will be a Storm ball.
A great opportunity. A press win by the Storm. Nance involved, found Draper, slipped it across, and Rundle had to get involved.
Wonderful pass and just accuracy. Again, we'll slide it through. Misses everyone, but Carter can pick it up. Holland Smith has to try and poke it away, and does. Now the Storm will start to try and find a way into the circle. It's been protected amazingly well by Yelena McLaughlin and company. McLaughlin looks forward and there's absolutely nobody there, but then there was an outlet to Mickey Spano, just couldn't quite find it.
Although I think Yo-Yo, as we call her, was happy to knock the ball down the other end and then set the press up for the Saints.
Allow them to reset, because there's our full moon. Just allow them to reset. I think Yelena McLaughlin looked forward and saw nothing but yellow shirts and just thought, right, okay, well, we'll send it down there and we'll reset from a 16-yard. And this is the result of it. Into Shand, who just loses out to Dubrow. Wins the free hit though, fires it to Spano. Spano looks to come back inside and will win another penalty corner. 4th one of the night. The Storm yet to have one.
Yeah, a great ball by Shand, a direct ball, found Spano on top of the circle. She made a really good receive and then ended up winning a corner by winning an obstruction in the circle. So 4th corner, did we say, for the Saints?
4th one for the Saints, none for the Storm. I think there's going to be a change of injection. That's Alison Pennington who's wandering over there to take the injection. Evans and Grist there to trap Shand and McLaughlin as per usual at the top of the 2 batteries. Carter and Spano out as outlet passes. 3-1 on the line for the Storm. Injection comes towards Grist, then to Shand. Shand will shift it, good save. Trying to get it out. I think there's an advantage for the Storm and they've taken it. Oh, just didn't get enough of it and the Saints will get away with one.
It was a good save by Cochrane, so Shand picked it up and changed the angle and then a nice firm slap, but Cochrane was able to save on her left foot.
Saints again. Now they will go back to McLaughlin. She'll send it to Campbell. Campbell loses out to Nance. Now they've got odd men. Now they'll fire it across the back to Holland Smith. That will just dribble its way towards goal. 3 goals to 2. The Saints, they're coming.
The Saints, no, the Storm. The Storm are coming. And Nance was instrumental again. Oh, did she
get a touch?
I think she might have cherry-picked it.
Is she going to steal that one?
Let's have a look.
Because it dribbled its way through. She did as well. We'll have to give that one to Gabby Nance.
Well, that was a bit cheeky, although she did all the work, so she thought I might as well get the result.
Well, the Saints are stunned. 3 goals to 2. Evans trying to find a way through. Finds Carter. Grist playing in a very, very small area, but they'll get the long corner.
Yeah, I mean, we did speak at half-time that we didn't think the Storm had to do a whole lot different because they were well and truly in the match in the first half, but the score had gone the other way.
Just lose from Shand, and now Shand is going to have to turn and chase Holland Smith. Holland Smith, Shand does very, very well. Has an outlet on this side if she wants her, and does, and finds Eliza Gray. Gray goes down the line, but Nance in the right place at the right time. Sends it into the middle. Just too strong, and it's going to find its way behind, and we'll go for a 16-yard hit. Now, somebody did tap you on the shoulder and say that Nance was best on ground so far. Just that she was everywhere.
We did have that told to us at half-time, and you wouldn't disagree.
No, when you see things like that, just has an innate ability to be in the right place at the right time. That one's too far in front of Carter as the Storm will go in search of the equalising goal.
Yeah, it's certainly game on. I really like what I saw from Hattie Shand a minute ago. She made an error, but she was determined to win it back, and she mopped up her own error.
Good defending from Shand. But the Storm now just starting to take ascendancy, and the Saints just having to sit back on that back foot a little bit more. Cass makes the interception, turns and looks for a pass to Holland, gets there eventually to Evans. Evans carries a long way, then sends it out to Carter. Carter to Grist. Fired across the front.
Yeah,
no blue shirts attacking there.
Dangerous ball across. Holly Evans was involved at the start of the move and at the end of the move, and Sharon and Cass wasn't able to get a stick on it. Difficult position to outlet from here for the Storm.
Looks like they may find a way, but it's gone behind. Another long corner.
Important interception by Buheka. So just an important period here for the Storm, just to settle. They certainly don't want to get back to a goal down and then concede one quickly.
Storm again trying to find the way out. They'll get a free hit. wrist. Looks for Cass, finds Cass. Tries to work down to the baseline. Gets in there. Tried to pull it back on the foot. Did very, very well to get her feet out of the way. Now the Storm will come away. Nance. Nice inside ball. Dubrow carries it a long way, then looks for an outlet on that far side. Finds one. Nice ball down the line to Holland Smith, but picked off. But it's going to come back. Moulton did enough to stop that attack, but now they have to rebuild and stop another one. Chopped towards the sweeper. Sent forward to Dubrow.
Dubrow having lots of important touches in this second half and also in the first half.
Kitto tried to slip it through, picked off by Cass. Tried to send it forward, Spano just couldn't quite get it under control, and the Storm are going to mount another sortie into the St. Taff. Free hit inside the 25. Just happy to take a little bit of a breather at the moment, the Saints.
Yeah, and the Storm are pressing out hard here and trying to capture them in the pocket, which they've done successfully.
Yeah, now can they get a circle entry? Can they cause something? Just a long corner.
So a good blind press by the Storm, which forced them back into their left side, a difficult place to outlet from. And the press win and a good opportunity with a long corner.
Happy to come back, fired forward, comes off the stick of a Saints player and will go behind.
So another restart from the 23-metre line.
Just on the edge of the circle. Spano threw everything at that.
Spano, including a stick.
That's a whole lot. Very, very congested. Now just trying to find an open little space. McLaughlin with a fantastic stick. Again, just that chaos ball across the front. Blundell, no messing around. Get away from here.
Really good piece of play by Dubrow. Determined and skillful. Got the ball across. Rundle had to deal with it.
That one just knocked away by Briggsland. I think the really interesting thing is still no penalty corners for the Storm. Nance will just lose that one behind, but their ability not to concede penalty corners, even in congested circles tonight, has been a real positive for the Saints.
Yeah, it has been, and on the other hand, I'm sure that the Storm and the Storm coaches would be thinking about trying to win corners over this last quarter and a bit.
Free hit to the Saints and they can go. And another one. Did enough down with Dubrow to make it look like an accident, not to go and sit in the naughty chair. Back to Talbot, who had Holland Smith and almost straight away was put under pressure.
Well, I mean, that was interesting because the Saints were hell-bent on getting the ball to the other side, and the Storm were trying to block them in.
Speaking again of the ball to the other side. Oh, that's a bit harsh.
Yep.
So those of you who are new to hockey, and I know there's some new to hockey people, some of my friends have tuned in to watch hockey for the first time. If it goes overhead and there's a defensive player around 2 meters, then it's a free hit, but
didn't seem to be.
Didn't seem to be. Maybe he was using the Imperial system.
Well, I mean, I almost think you don't have to be new to the game to struggle to understand the area. Or
it's a weird one at times.
It is.
Nance, nice ball out to Holland Smith, to her sister. Working in really close conditions. That one will go out again, and Nance will play to herself, to Holland Smith. Again, just trying to find something, and again, just outside. They've been good enough to make mistakes and give away frees just outside. And that one will be another long corner. Gabby Nance asking the question.
Yeah, I think Gabby thought that the Eastern Saints player may have deliberately swept it over the back line, but the umpire didn't agree.
No, I do feel like she does have a little bit of an argument with that, but What the umpires say is final. Again, the overhead will find its way through. That one is okay. Nance. Short ball just caught her teammate Meg Bourne on her heels. De Bro to Shand. Gets her head up and then fires it forward. Spano just a little bit too strong. Couldn't quite bring it under control, but now it is going to come back again. Can't find a way through, can't find a way out, but there is a free hit. Came off the feet of Spano.
Both teams probably just guilty of forcing the play a little bit. There hasn't been a whole lot of time in possession for any one team in the last sort of 5 minutes or so.
Again, we're just seeing how good that high press is from both sides, and it just forces passes that aren't quite as accurate as they would want.
Yeah, I mean, I think both defences have struggled against, as you've talked about then, the high press, and you'd imagine with 15 minutes to go and a little bit of this quarter, that's going to continue.
It goes past everyone and will come back out for a 16-yard hit.
I mean, you may see the Eastern Saints just drop their press back a little bit. I'd be surprised if the Southern Storm do that.
Again, just having to play out the back, little triangles, and then just down the line. Holland Smith does very, very well. Now they are almost 3 on 2. Has an outlet, good, to the baseline. Can they find something? Sends it across the front. Oh, just didn't get enough on it. The groan goes around. Kira McMahon just couldn't get it. Then comes off her leg and gives away the free hit.
Well, that was a wonderful opportunity to equalise at 3-all. But unfortunately, I think Kira McMahon probably, if she had a time again, wouldn't have swung so heavily. She just probably needed to redirect it rather than swing at it.
Shand. Ball out to the near side to Campbell. Campbell down the line to Cass, who just couldn't get it under control. Just slipped underneath the keeper. Again, it's been almost a trait of tonight where the players have assumed that it's going to be cut off, and then when it's not, they've had to snatch at it.
Well, the very best strikers, and we reinforce this as much as we can, the very best strikers are there just in case, and they're expecting it to come through, even if it's a crowded circle.
Fired forward. Shand has actually helped that on its way to Nance. Nance, one-on-one on the back stick. What a finish! The equaliser scored by Gabby Nance. You have to say, as soon as she picked up that ball and was one-on-one in the circle, if I had the money, I probably would have put it on her to finish.
And what a finish it was. You know, as we talk about her trademark backhand, you couldn't have a better person with that sort of space. Normally, you'd expect the ball to go across the face into the bottom corner, but she saw a gap and then just went straight down the line past Rundle.
And we have been full of praise for the goalkeepers tonight, but I don't think Dutchie Holland will be happy getting beaten on the near post. Off again. The Storm now are absolutely raging at the wall of the Eastern Saints. They're just going to have to batten down the hatches and hope that it passes.
Well, I mean, it absolutely sets this contest up beautifully, doesn't it?
I think that siren you heard was over away to our right where the Metro Ones are playing. You just see that's past the goalkeeper before she even knows it. I mean, put 3 of them in there, they're going to struggle.
They're really hard to read too for the keepers off the backhand side. So, yeah, I don't think that was the fault of Rundle.
No, and I think the Saints with Grist are happy to just see that through to 3/4 time. So Nance with her second goal of the game. That one a little bit more difficult than her first one of the game, but we are getting ready for what should be an absolutely wonderful 4th quarter of hockey. We will be right back. So welcome back. Quarter number 4. We have sent the hockey elves off running and finding out what happens if this is a draw. We are thinking it's one-on-ones. We're making all sorts of one-on-one signals down to the technical bench. We hope it's one-on-ones. We want to finish to this one, don't we?
I think we all want one-on-ones. The crowd would enjoy that, but there's a bit to play out before we get to that.
One-on-ones, we have got the thumbs up. We are going to go. But you're right, there's 15 minutes to go, and the way the Storm have come home in the last quarter, you would think that one-on-ones certainly aren't nailed on, as Evans finds herself in space, fired a goal. And first time really we're going to say Emily Cochrane's name. She's picked the ball at the back of the net 3 times. That time she was big and strong.
And that took 31 seconds for that for that first shot on goal. Beautiful piece of play by Mickey Spano in the midfield. Found Holly Evans, who had a first-time shot, and Emily Cochrane did really well, as you mentioned.
Well, I don't think any of the players out there want one-on-ones, so where they want to finish within the next 15 minutes. Shand. Out to the far side. Came back around, and it's going to go for a long corner.
Yeah, I was trying to have a look at both teams' huddles at three-quarter time. They were both quite calm, and I think you would have expected Kiwi, Melody Cooper and Dan Mitchell in the Saints camp just to try to settle their team down a bit and just reinforce that they can play good hockey and get back
Evans
on top.
will find Grist, and Grist will get to the byline. Grist tries to send it towards Spano. Can't quite get there, and Holland and the Storm will come away. And it will eventually get to Holland Smith. Now they are head up and going away. Poked away. The Storm can go. Nance plays to herself, beats the first one, beats the second one. Then gets the free hit, and there's a green card. And I think that's Chloe Carter's going to go and sit down for a little bit.
I think she may have not backed off the required 5 metres and then played the ball. Pretty sure it's the first suspension of the night.
Yeah, it's the first one. Well, that's still there, and DeBro looking to make some space across the top of the circle. Has to stop, then we'll go back to Holland Smith. That'll be fired in, the old chaos ball. Just enough is done. Spano, long way to go. Not really much ahead of us, so we'll just drop it back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin does well to pick it up. Tried to find a clever pass through, but there's too many Storm players there. DeBro to Holland Smith. Holland Smith will carry. Lots of blue shirts there. Needs to find a really clever ball through for that one. The Saints did enough and will concede a free hit. Goes the way of the Storm.
Yeah, you mentioned in the third quarter, Dave, that it's such an open contest, and we've seen that in the first 3 minutes of this quarter.
Wonderful take on the far side. Another circle entry. Bounces around at the top, and a good clearance. Finds its way out to Cass. Cass just has to send it forward. No other option really. Evans does well to almost break it up. And then Buchecker will just calm it all down.
Yeah, that was an important clearance by Georgina Bridgeland in the Eastern Saints defence.
Cass to Shand. Sent it into a competition which has worked just about for the Saints. Then back down the line, we'll find Bridgeland. One end to the other, looks for a circle entry, gets one. Slipped it through, and another penalty corner. So that's the 5th one of the night.
Must have just found a foot. Defender looked to back off and try to defend it, but really great opportunity for the Eastern Saints. Have they scored from a corner tonight?
They haven't. The old percentage, Darren Ninekey, who I know is probably watching, will be having fit 0% return from penalty corners.
Yeah, and for everyone you don't score, you're one closer to scoring. So
well, there's got to be a point. Now the usual McLaughlin and Shand behind. The trappers have changed again. Evans is one. Can't quite see the other one. We'll go near side to McLaughlin. McLaughlin will shift it onto the back stick, chips it up in the air. Good strong hand. Everyone leaves it too high.
Yep, first shot has to hit the backboard. So yeah, the injection was a bit slow, I think, and then it forced McLaughlin to try and do something different.
Well, we haven't seen the drag flick from her.
No.
We saw it in the first week. We want to see it again. Just the injection hasn't been fast enough.
And we saw it last week. She scored last week with the drag flick, so surprising.
But I think you're right. I think the injection is just holding her up. Either that or the chase out. The barrel runners are doing their job and forcing McLaughlin to change.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby Nance does get off the line quickly in that first runner position.
Probably one of the bravest positions in sport, I think, to be honest. To run at that thing knowing that it's on the way.
Well, absolutely, and the amount of armour, if you like to call it, that runners are starting to wear is getting more and more, with knee protectors and face and gloves.
Quite right too. I'd be wanting to wear one of those dog training kits if I was doing it. It'd take me 20 minutes to get ready.
Yeah, as you say, it is almost the most dangerous thing to do in hockey.
Back to McLaughlin. Found a nice pass through to Shand. Shand happy to come back, and we'll find Eliza Gray. Couldn't quite get it through Nance. Trying to get out again. Nance will get the return. Just too far in front of Holland Smith. McLaughlin almost turned back into danger, but does enough to get out of it. Then happy to release. Less than 10 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Grist. Nice stick work from McLaughlin, and then finds a lovely ball and then fired across the front again to Shandon. Cass didn't quite get there.
Well, you would have expected either Cass or maybe Spano, but probably Cass from where she was to potentially get on the ground for that. But
well, yeah, I was waiting for the signature Cass dive, and we didn't see it.
Yeah, well, I think she'd be regretting it right now.
That's a smart pass and a good turn from Dubrow. And out to this near side. Wonderful pass forward to Holland Smith. What can Holland Smith do? Manages to get herself towards the circle. Can she find anything? Lifts it high. Penalty corner. First one of the night for the Storm.
Penalty corner number 1 for the Storm. I yelled over the fence to Gabby Nance before the game and said, "Have you got anything up your sleeve, special for corners?" She goes, "Yeah, we have got one." So,
well, this is their chance. I mean, they'll be looking at the clock. You can't keep it in the, you can't keep it in the bank.
No, I mean, they don't have a designated drag flicker there. Nance has got a great tomahawk, but she's going to the baseline to inject.
I wonder whether we're going to see it shift back to her on that.
It could.
On that near post.
But Dubrow's also got a really good corner hit when she gets onto it. So, yeah, game on.
So here we go. Nance to inject. 3-1 on the line for the Saints. Here comes the injection. Bobbles around, just doesn't work. Dubrow does very well to get it onto the back stick. It's still bouncing around. Nance not the chance to be the hero and a hat-trick hero at that. Where's that last stick on the line? Somebody has saved this for the Saints. It's the goalkeeper,
Rundle.
Belle Rundle.
Yeah, great save. And great call when you said there, Dave, Nance had the chance.
Intercepted by Shand. Looked like a Storm stick, went on it less than 8 minutes to go.
So yeah, a breakdown corner. Dubrow found the tomahawk at goal, and as we talked about, almost the fourth goal for the Storm to Gabby Nance.
Well, we did. Dubrow did wonderfully well because the trap just bobbled around, and then the gunners were on her. The barrel runners were absolutely on her. So she had to make space. She had to get it out of her feet and to get something on target and to cause the chaos that she did. Tip of the hat, young lady. So of course, as we get towards the sunset of this one, Mickey Spano and Gabby Nance both on a hat trick. Kira McMahon and Chloe Carter scoring the odd goal for the Saints and the Storm respectively. Holland Smith pushing hard again. Didn't get enough on it, and again it goes into a battle in midfield. I thought they were going to let that one go for a moment, but the Saints will get the free hit. Head up, comes out to Shand. Shand surveys her options, decides to come near side. We'll find Carter. Another circle entry cut out, probably a little bit too easily. It's going to come back again though. Gray sends it forward, stopped just outside. Another free hit. Gray is going to stand over it. Happy to go back to Shand. All the way across to McLaughlin. Sent forward to Cass, tries to turn it around the corner. Free hit will relieve the pressure. Starting to see some tired legs out there now.
Well, I mean, it's that stage of a game in a grand final, 6 minutes to go, where, you know, what's the mindset of the teams? Are they brave enough to win it? Are they just going to try and play out time? Are they too scared to concede? Because if you concede now, it's almost like the winning goal.
Shand does very, very well to cut that one out, and then we'll send it to Grist. Grist gets a head up, finds an ever-willing Cass running across the line. Decides to come back, sends it across the middle, gets a circle entry. Spano got a deflection. Good strong leg again from Cochrane. It's going to come back. Shand looks for a circle entry. Wonderful stick from Nance. Will push it behind for a corner.
A great piece of forward play by Mickey Spano, just arriving at the right time. He got a touch on goal, but Cochrane was up to it.
Back again, this time Talbot. Comes out near side to Gray. Gray tries to go around the corner, comes off the leg of Holland Smith, so it will restart. Then out to Shand. Shand with the nutmeg, does very well, sends it across the front. We talked about hat-trick heroes, and there it is. Mickey Spano deflected a goal. She will score her third. The Saints fourth, and they will take the lead with just over 5 minutes to go.
And that is a great striker goal. We've talked about that a few times tonight, and Mickey Spano's been working hard on that part of her game. Beautiful cross by Hattie Shand, low tomahawk across, and Spano got the touch.
So that's going to light the blue touch paper for an absolutely wonderful last 5 minutes. The Storm have to go now. The Saints, they don't want to sit back. Wonderful ball across the front. And there's the Adelaide Hockey Club connection starting to come into effect now.
Yeah, we might see a bit of that over the all-important next 6 weeks. But what will the coaches of the Storm do now? Will they try and play more aggressive? Will they take off the keeper?
Are we going to see the keeper come off? Someone will go out and give the Storm chance. Nance will survey what's ahead of her. She's to slip a ball through. Trying to get that circle entry, trying to get something, but again, that blue wall is built again.
It's important in these situations with when you're trying to chase a game that you've got to play quickly and be busy, but you don't want to be too impatient because you have got time to create an opportunity.
Back to Emma Kitto. Sends it forward. Shand does well. Shuts the door. Stick from Nance. Makes it go out, but that's all it is. We'll just see this again. The little nutmeg. Just there you go. Through the legs. And then the reverse cross ball. And the ability to just deflect it. She knows where the goals is. They don't move. They're always there.
That's a good point.
Spano trying to find a way.
Nice ball handling then from Spano on the sideline. Wins a free hit, and the Saints can settle.
Grist carries across. Tries to come back. Holland Smith harrying and hustling, just didn't do enough. Evans will go. Has to turn, 360. Gets it back. Evans, back stick. Didn't get enough on it.
Yeah, I think in the end, it was called for back of the stick, and Evans a great opportunity, and she would normally nail that shot.
Well, it's interesting. I haven't spent much time talking to Mickey Spano, but I just get the feeling from watching her play and seeing her and how she goes about her stuff. There's part of me that thinks if anyone's going to get a hat-trick and a winning goal tonight, it's going to be me.
She's building confidence, absolutely, and so, you know, from my perspective, I'm really pleased that she's the person that's got the goals.
Nance against Spano. There's a nice little battle between the two. Present and future. Oh, comes off the feet of Spano. No raised hand to see if she's okay either, just straight away.
Well, I mean, it just shows the competitiveness of them. Last week they were sharing a hotel room in Perth, training with the Hockeyroos, and this week they're going at each other.
Dubrow, 360 away from Spano, 360 away from Cass. Spano comes back and gets it. McLaughlin picks it up. Gets the free hit. Less than 2 minutes to go. Slow down time, you would think, for the Saints.
Yeah, what the Storm have done, they've just pushed up more aggressively. Nance is effectively playing an extra striker now, and they've almost got 4 across the front by the look of it.
Keeper still there. Grist sends it down the line to Spano. Spano blindly sends it down the line, but it's found Cass. Cass will look to get around the outside. Does. Looks to get it across the front. Deflection will go behind for a corner.
That's exactly what the Saints would want. A minute to go, and they've got the ball.
Yeah, no great rush to take it. Spano. Again, it will go behind off the stick of Bucheka. Shand. Down the line to Grist. Grist is going to just try and hold it in the corner for 40 seconds. Goes out, and it will be another corner. So they're just going to try and run the clock out now, you would think.
They will, and they really need to try and man Grist up in the bottom corner so it can't go back there again.
They are trying to set a wall there. Trying to get it through. Sophie Fry just couldn't get it through that time. Sent forward, it's going to break for Shan. Shan shoots a goal. Again, didn't get quite enough on it. It's still going to come back in. Grist, you think, would just go to the corner, and the siren will sound very, very shortly. And the Saints will win the 2019 statewide Super League title. What a game of hockey, Tim.
It was a great game of hockey. You asked at the start, was it going to be cagey and what have you? It wasn't. It was end-to-end. There was chances. Great skill, great goals at either end, and yeah, really good result.
So, ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 statewide Super League champions, the Eastern Saints. They will look to repeat next year, you would think, and I think this competition is going to go on. The dreaded one-on-ones didn't raise their heads, but ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we will be back very, very shortly for the men's grand final. That one is the Pirates versus the Saints, so East versus West. That should be an absolutely fantastic one. Ladies and gentlemen, from myself, Dave Webb, and Tim White, we'll speak to you again very shortly.